Hey guys, this is video 3 of the gaming videos. I took a video before this and it was 23 minutes long. Only have 10 minutes, so I'm going to make this much quicker and try to be explaining the same information in a shorter amount of time. So basically I picked Halo 2 for this week's gaming video. Instantly I knew that was the video I wanted to do when I saw the game list, because Halo 2 is a game that I grew up playing. It came out when I was around 9 or 10, and I had already played Halo 1. So the Halo franchise was kind of the first franchise I really got connected to. My age group, we were the age group that played Halo. We were the original Halo players, and Halo probably was the most popular game out at that time. I'm trying to think of other games. You had Call of Duty and stuff, but they weren't like, I don't know. There was a few. I guess Call of Duty was popular back then. The first ones. Medal of Honor. That was a fun game back then. Anyways, my point is, Halo is really the first gaming franchise that I really connected to, and because we used to have Halo tournament, like we'd all come together and have Halo tournaments like that. Those were the days, man, when we were kids. So we weren't, practicing playing sports. That's what we were doing. Anyways, the game's Halo 2. I'm not playing the game at the same time that I'm making the video, just so I can talk a little bit more about it, but I did post gameplay with this video. But I wanted to talk about the game itself. I'm going to try to do it in 10 minutes. Like I said, it took me 23 minutes to go through what I thought was a brief version of Halo 2 up until that point, because there's 5 Halos, but I'm not covering anything past Halo 2 just because of time. And it would just be pointless. But basically, Halo is a action shooter sci-fi, first-person action shooter sci-fi, kind of like Call of Duty, but there's a sci-fi ordeal into it. You got aliens, you got spaceships, you got space, you got a whole galaxy kind of deal. So that's obviously a lot different than your regular old Call of Duty. You got laser guns, you got all kinds of stuff. That's not real. That's sci-fi added in there, but that makes it fun. That's what's cool about it. And what else? I'll talk about who developed the game. Bungie developed Halo. Bungie is a game software developer kind of little. I don't know I guess they're a company inside of Microsoft, like they're one of their game developing teams. They produced the first couple Halos, and then 343 Industries took over. But for the sake of Halo 2, Bungie is the main company that helped develop it. Let's see. I'd like to talk about the story. We got 6 minutes. I need to talk about the story as much as possible so you can understand it. Halo is just as much a story-based game as much as it is a action shooter game, and that's what's unique about it. Is you got a whole like Call of Duty action kind of deal, but you also have a story behind it, and the story itself is great. It's got a great story. It really immerses you into it. Character development, all of that. It's got everything you need. It is a gold mine for that kind of stuff. That's why it was such a popular game, on top of the action and the gameplay itself. Basically, Halo this is where I spent my 23 minutes talking about it. I'm going to make it short as possible. Shorter than I did last time. Okay, so basically, I'm not going to go about the details before Halo. I'm going to go straight to the first Halo game. Earth is united by one government called the UNSC. It's called the United Nations Space Corps. It's basically the United Nations, and they took the United Nations and furthered it. Now, this is Halo does take place a few hundred years ahead of our time. Halo happens in 2550, somewhere around there, and somewhere in that area, 2550, which is obviously 500 years ahead of our time. They have space travel, you know, we're colonizing planets with spaceships, all that. Our technology is way more advanced at this point. Anyways, we come in contact with this alien species, or this number of alien species called the Covenant. They're united under one banner. Multiple alien species are not united under this banner of the Covenant, all for one reason, and that is their religion. They all believe in the Covenant religion, and that is what unites them. And they're united by these. There's one alien species that is kind of like their leaders. They're called the Prophets. There's 3 of them, and that's their 3 leaders, and they kind of, you know, preach the gospel of the Covenant or whatever. Anyways, they come into contact with the humans because they're on a religious religious adventure to discover relics and stuff of their Covenant religion, which is actually just the Forerunners artifacts, which I'll get into the Forerunners here in a second. Anyways, they see us as a threat because they realize that we humans are the ancestors of the Forerunners, which is an ancient, advanced people that came before all of us, before the Covenant, before the humans. They were the civilization that was advanced. And they see us as a threat, so we go to war. They're taking over our planets and stuff. We're outnumbered because they're a lot more powerful than us. And then they discover the Halo rings, which is what's made, why the name of the game is made. The Halo rings are, you know, these rings that the Forerunners created to destroy the Flood. And the rings have the capability to wipe out all life in the galaxy, in the whole universe. They wipe out everything, all life. So it becomes our mission as the humans, the UNSC, to stop the Covenant from activating them, because the Covenant, a part of their religion, they want to activate the rings and cleanse the earth of all impurities, I guess. That's basically their religion, like terrorism. They want to kill everything. They just don't understand that that means it will kill them as well. But anyways, the Halo rings were created by the Forerunners to wipe out all life. That was the intention, but the intention was to stop the Flood. And the Flood is kind of like this zombie virus infection kind of deal that infects all biological life that it touches, and it's controlled by one. It's got a one thinking mind behind every single little host that it infects. It all has one thought process, and that's the Grave Mind, which is like the King Flood. It's like this ugly creature looking thing, but he controls all the Flood. And so there was a war way before the humans' time with the Forerunners, and the Forerunners were losing, so they activated the rings, killed all life, and then restarted it by planting the human races and all the other alien races on their planets and letting them start from nothing. And so here we are. We're fighting for the Halo rings to destroy them so the Covenant can't get in touch with them. And that you destroyed the first Halo ring in Halo 1. Now you're fighting for the second Halo ring that was discovered in Halo 2. And you're trying to kill one of the Prophets, and there's just a whole story behind that. You'd have to play Halo 2 to go through it. And you play as Master Chief. He's the protagonist in the story. He is like a super soldier. And there were more of him in the war, but the rest of them were killed off in the war. So he's like the last super soldier. He's like our last hope, because like he's OP, dude. He like kills anything in his path. So you just have to play the game to fully understand it. I've made it very, very vague because I only have 10 minutes. I went into a lot more detail in the other video, but anyways, that's kind of the gist of the story. Humanity's fighting off this grave threat of aliens. They're literally trying to extinct us, and yeah, we're just trying to defend the rings. And it goes into way more detail in Halo 3 and Halo 4, but in terms of Halo 2, that's kind of where they're at right now. And if you guys haven't played Halo, if you guys have any questions, you're more interested, and you want to ask me about it, I could probably answer anything you have, any questions you have on Halo. So just ask me in the comments. Thanks.